Hey guys, I know you heard me promote Blip billboards on the podcast many, many times. Not only are they a great company, but they're our great friends here on the podcast. Blip Billboards is doing a holiday promotion. Yes, the 2021 holiday season is going to be a big one, guys. Okay? And just 94% of U.S. adults plan to do holiday shopping, with 40% of those adults planning to spend more money than the previous years. 58% of individuals will shop earlier than in past years, and 31% reported that out of home ads centered around special offers and promotions are the most helpful. Guys, get ahead of your competitors by starting your holiday billboard campaigns early. Okay? And Blip has new billboards popping up all over the place, including Chicago, Illinois, Clement, Louisiana, Bolivia, North Carolina, and Youngsville, North Carolina, along with many, many other locations, guys. Just about every state now has a Blip digital billboard, okay? And also, too, guys, Blip gives back. Yes. Have you heard of their nonprofit program? Well, Blip gives back. With Blip's one-on-one matching program, any amount you prepay to your account will be matched by Blip to generate more awareness and donations for the important work you do. Just fill out an application today on their website and start spreading the word about your organization. Also, too, guys, why building brand awareness is critical. What you missed on earlier could save the life of many, guys. So join the Blip Digital Billboard Nation, okay, on their website. Head over to Blip Billboards. You can Google it, guys. It'll just pop right up. blipbillboard.com. Check them out today, guys. They're a phenomenal company. They work. We use them here on the podcast for our promotions, our advertising, and we love them, guys. They're not your average overexpensive company. They do work with your financial budget. You can set your daily budget as low as $5 a day, guys. Yeah, you heard me. $5 a day. Head over to Blip, guys. Sign up. Get on their awesome program and start promoting your product or advertising your product today, guys. You'll love them.
Mike Gardner, a host, unfiltered, unscripted, raw. Rated mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised. Broadcasting from the Big Peach of Atlanta, Georgia. This is the Patriot Brief. All right, guys, let's get this show started, huh?
All right, guys, welcome to today's show. Welcome to the Patriot Brief. Hope everybody enjoyed last night's live stream that was available on Facebook, YouTube, and others, as well as our new good friends at StreamYard. Thank you for allowing us to stream that. Guys, I know most of you probably watched the live video last night with Unfiltered Wednesday with myself and Nicole. But a lot of people are asking where the audio version of that was. A lot of our followers and listeners on the show like the audio version, the audio cut of the podcasts. Basically that's how we started out with audio. And we will still remain doing the audio podcast, But I'm told that there was some type of delay with the uploading with the broadcast that we use. Nothing on our end. Sometimes it happens. There's little glitches. So we will be getting that out, the audio podcast of last night, later on Spotify, Apple, and Google, as well as our Facebook and other groups that we belong to on Facebook. So with that being said, guys, welcome to the Patriot Brief. Like I said, I hope everybody enjoyed last night's show. It was also a test stream that we were doing, the first test stream. There will be added content, added graphics, added everything, because that is our new home now on video podcasting. So thank you again to our good friends at StreamYard. They're an awesome company, an awesome platform. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. I want to bring into a couple of topics, kind of touching a little bit of what we mentioned yesterday on the show with Nicole and I, mentioning about, the crazy new scenarios of what Biden wants to do with counseling. Yeah. When I heard this, I was like, what? I mean, how can he counsel the unvaccinated? Even Nicole was like, say that again? you know, but, I just, guys, what you're hearing from this radical left, okay, because I don't even call them a Democratic Party, because they're a party no longer for us anymore. They're just radical in so many ways. They use tyranny. They use everything on the American people. And we're starting to see it right now with the mask mandates. It's really bad, guys. Really, really bad. So, I mean, I want to get into this article here. Actually, a couple articles here on the brief about supposedly it's coming out of Breitbart News. Okay, let's go over to Breitbart first. Okay, a 2% growth in quarter three as prices soar, vaccine mandates loom. Okay, only a 2% growth, right, guys? I mean, if you were looking for like a 50% growth or an 80% growth, guys, you're wrong. Not under this administration. Not under this administration. We're seeing only a short 2% growth. Yeah, Breitbart actually gave them only a 2% growth, right? The poll that they, I guess they reported on. Guys, let's get into this article here. That the surge in virus cases, stronger than expected inflation, and supply bottlenecks drag the economy down to a much slower pace. Was that expected under this administration? I mean, were we expecting something big to unfold? I mean, guys, like Donald Trump said before, you shouldn't put faith in a government. Faith you should be putting in to the Almighty God that's above us, okay? But let's get into this article here, okay? Because a lot of people are like, oh, it's going to get better. No, folks, it's going to get worse. It's going to get a lot worse, okay? The U.S. economic growth crashed in the third quarter as the economy grappled with the Delta variant, driving a resurgence of COVID-19 infections and supply chain disruptions. That's what we're seeing all across the country, guys. I posted a video in the story section of the podcast here, the Facebook page, Patriot Angle Podcast. I posted an actual video of what literally is going on with the disruption of supply chains all over the country. Okay, when they say there's a supply chain crisis, guys, they're actually telling you the truth. Okay. And what they mean by that, guys, is basically what's going on is that this administration is making it harder for more Americans to literally do the job that they were employed to do by their employer, okay, by these mandates. He's making it very, very hard. Companies are now being told to force their mandates on employers. Not every company is going to do it, because some companies are like, whoa. If I force mandates on my employers, the majority of them are not going to want to do it. Even if it, comes down to a job, what it comes down to is your freedom and your liberties. More people are worried about their freedoms and liberties being stripped away than an actual paycheck. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but in the long run, yeah, that's great. Why are you saying it's great, Mike? Well, it's great because when it comes down to the end of the day, people are more worried about their freedoms and liberties than actual a paycheck. Let's set the sides, a little bit here. You can always make money, right? You lose a job, you gain a job, you lose a job, you gain a job. That's life, guys. That's life. But not every company is going to follow uh, the tyrant that we have in office. And guys, I know that's a little dark by saying that, with our president. But guys, I mean, what is he doing? What is he doing? I mean, definitely he's not the previous administration that we had in office. He's not Donald Trump. He's not doing anything right for America. He's basically doing everything backwards. Everything. Since he's taken office, he's done everything backwards, guys. Everything backwards. Okay, also in this article here, okay, the gross domestic product, okay, the value of all goods and services. That's your value of everything, all the products and everything from these supply chain companies, right? Um, Grew at an annualized rate of only 2%, like I mentioned earlier in the episode right now, from this past July to just last month in September. After adjusting for inflation and seasonality, the Commerce Department just literally said this just past Wednesday, yesterday. They said that if our crisis that we're seeing offshore with our cargo ship, right? Cargo ships are still being anchored offshore, some as 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 miles offshore. Okay, if that continues to rise at historic rates, you will see mass inflation. You will see literally things starting to get out of control. I mean, we're starting to see that right now with our supply chain issue. We're starting to see that with our, just even the cargo ship issue. We're starting to see, I mean, and a lot of it has to do with this administration orchestrating forced mandates on companies in order for them to stay in business. They have to implement the vaccine to their employees, sadly. And what's sad about it, guys, is you can have companies as large as a couple thousand employees. Okay, big companies, like such as Amazon, Walmart, FedEx, UPS, all the big supply chain companies, right? The big box giants that we have here in America that basically pretty much keeps America running, right? Right. Those companies are going to struggle when they don't have employees to fill the spots. And those employees getting sick and just walking off the job and saying, you know what, this is my body, my choice. I'm not going to take the freaking job. This is my body. It's not the government's body. It's my body. More power to them. Damn right it's your body. It's time to step up for it. Guys, the third quarter GDP growth was initially forecast to be more of a robust. As late as June, this past June, guys, analysts were forecasting growth of the seventh to better than 9%. But the surge in virus cases, stronger than the expected inflation, supply chain bottlenecks, okay, dragged the economy down to a much slower pace. Guys, we're seeing an increase of 5.3% compared with an increase of over 6.5% in the prior period. That's excluding food and energy prices. The PCE price index increased over 4.5%. compared with an increase of 6.1% in the second quarter. Guys, this measure, the so-called core PCE inflation, is closely watched by the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is watching everything. It's like it's in the grasp of their hands. Guys, this is terrible. Terrible, terrible stuff. Like, if this stuff doesn't end soon, guys, you're gonna have oh boy, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be real bad, guys. Real bad. We have to control this this inflation that we're seeing. More being said, guys. We'll be right back after these words. Don't go anywhere. All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Mike. Guys, we're talking about this this supply chain crisis, the 2% growth only in like the second, third quarter here. I mean, guys, if you think it's bad, guys, you're definitely right on that. I want to get into the last part of this topic here before I move on to the next one. The automaking industry was hit hard, guys, by a shortage of semiconductors. Yes, every industry, guys, is basically taking effect of this inflation. We're seeing inflation, we're seeing bottlenecking, we're seeing a lot of different things, guys, in a lot of different industries here in America. But, you know, the automaking industry here in the States literally was hit hard, forcing some manufacturers to slow production in the third quarter. The motor vehicle and parts output literally contracted an annualized rate of only a low rate of 2.939%, right? Again, a 2.39%. Folks, that's terrible. There's no profit there. And when you have rates, guys, as low as like 2, 3, 4, 5%, that you're not making profit. Your overhead is taking a huge hit. That's what we're seeing, guys. The overhead, literally taking drastic hits in every industry. And what does Biden plan on doing this? I mean, what is his plans on all this? Does he plan on correcting them? Does he plan on just like trying to make it a lot better for average Americans? I mean, what the hell is, what does Biden plan on doing? I mean, again, I touched this last night on the podcast last night with Nicole of Collective Cole Rants. I mean, and she was like, you need to fix the problems. You need to fix the issues before they get worse. I mean, I just don't know, guys. I don't know. In other news here, oh boy, should we get into this? I mean, I don't know. This pencil neck of a politician here. Yeah, pencil neck. Yeah, pencil neck. Yeah, we should call him pencil neck, right? Representative Adam Schiff. Pencil neck. Shifty Shift. That's what a lot of people have gotten to call him. Is now saying that Trump, and then he uses the words cult, thinks minorities should not be participating in elections. Why? What's wrong with the so-called Trump cult of his followers and his loyal voters that voted for him in 2016? Why shouldn't they be participating in elections? Minorities? Oh, so we're minorities now, right? Right, shifty shift? Guys, listen to this crap. Let's plug this into the show here. I mean, this is this is hilarious. This is basically Adam Schiff, representative out of California, a Democrat, right? Adam Schiff, literally, literally given his insight and what he thinks of what the Republican Party has become. Check this out, guys. This is a little dark, if you ask me. And he's got some cojones for saying this. Check this out, guys.
Investigating the January 6th attack. There is now a subpoena out for Mr. Eastman. Has there been any response from his attorneys?
I can't comment on what engagement we've had with him, but I can tell you we're very interested in his testimony. He is obviously at the center of efforts to overturn the election. And listening to that audio and watching that video is just shocking, particularly after earlier he tried to disavow his own memo. But clearly, he was trying to get the vice president to overturn the election, as you say, a coup. And these are insurrectionists, in my view, wearing suits and ties. And they're not done. They're out there trying to strip independent elections officials of their duties or their jobs so they can set up a more successful effort to overturn the election in the future. And, this is how democracies come to an end, when the very tools of democracy are used against democracy.
Wait, hold on. Let me stop it right there. Okay, let me just stop it right there. Okay, he's saying that Trump tried to use Pence to overturn the election? What? He didn't try to do anything. He didn't ask Pence you need to try to overturn the election. Okay, since when does that message come out as somebody trying to overturn an election? He went up to his vice president. He went up to the rest of his administration and he said, guys, we need to look into this election. I think there was a lot of foul play. That's not trying to overturn a presidential election, okay, which is the most important election of all elections in this country. Okay, when you think and you have high knowledge, high intelligence, okay, possibly other intelligence around you, advisors, White House staff members, everybody, right? If you have even people coming up to you and say, Mr. President, we think that there should be an investigation in the November election. We think there was a lot of foul play, a lot of fraudulent activity, and we think that there should be an investigation being played out. How is that overturning election? Guys, 1 and 1 still equals 2, right? I mean, I would think, right? I mean, right? I mean, 1 and 1 equals 2. It doesn't equal 4. How is, guys? Let's do the Q&A, okay? Josh will put it up on the Spotify website underneath the episode. Before or after, you can give me your feedback, guys. How is it? And I'll say this again. So, some listeners, maybe they don't understand it, liberal listeners or, whatever. No judgment. But, I don't have a problem of repeating the question. How is it that going up to your vice president, okay, Mike Pence, which was the vice president at the time, going up to your White House staff members and asking them, we need to look into the November 2020 election and seeing if there was foul play or fraudulent activity? How is that overturning an election? How is that overturning an election? That's like going up to the judge in the courtroom and saying, oh, we believe that you're trying to overturn this case. He's a judge. That's what he's paid to do. He's paid to deliver case by case on individuality and circumstances and everything else. Every case is different. That's like saying, oh, we want a new judge because we believe that he was trying to overturn this case because he's not in the fair interest of both parties. That's like going to kindergarten and saying, I want a new teacher because she looks like she's more showing favorability of the other student. Folks, is this what this country has become? Nothing but a bunch of crybabies? First of all, Trump wasn't crying. Let me set the standard there. Let me set the mark there. Wasn't crying. Okay? Because we all seen what happened. Right about 10 to 12 o'clock midnight, Eastern Standard Time, right? We've seen a drastic change from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. the next day with voting counting. All of a sudden, the votes just came to a halt, right? Literally came to a halt. I mean, it was like, whoa, came right to a halt. And then what did we see? We heard nothing but excuses. We have to stop counting, folks, because there's a water main break in State Farm Arena here in Atlanta. Sorry, folks, we have to stop voting counting because there's a glitch in the systems in Los Angeles County. Folks, every place in the country, mainly battleground states, okay, we're supposedly having these issues. If that's not signs of, going into an investigation on one of the most historic elections in our history, I don't know what is. That's grounds for going into an investigation. When you have little scenarios popping up all over the place and so happen to be in battleground states such as Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, right? Right? I mean, how come they weren't happening in the other states? The states that really didn't play an important key role in this election. Sure, they did, but the battleground states are the ones that you have to watch for. Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, right? Those are the big states, right? Florida is another one that you have to watch out for. Because those states can determine the entire election. Guys, let's get back into this sound clip here. This Shifty Shift literally says more about the John Eastman caught on tape discussing the January 6th insurrection. They're calling it insurrection. Oh, it's the most darkest days in America. Yeah. Listen to this. I mean, this is a little far-fetched.
The Claremont Institute sort of putting kind of the sort of faux intellectual backing behind the big lie. Somebody like John Eastman, who, as you said, tried to disavow this memo, but now seems very much committed to the plan that was laid out in it. He's got this institute that is equally committed to it, and they happen to also be doing things like using fake outrage over supposed critical race theory, which isn't critical race theory, and ginning up real racial discord among, to be blunt, white Americans in order to make this all happen. It starts to feel like it's all of a piece. I wonder if it does to you.
It absolutely feels like it's all of a piece. We had an open hearing today with the leaders of the intelligence community on diversity, equity, and inclusion in the intelligence community. And I don't know that we had more than a single question from the GOP side of the aisle about any of the subject of the hearing. And in indeed there was resentment that we were even having a hearing on this, like it was some distraction from the aims of the intelligence community, rather than something that's important to strengthening the community. But as you say, seeing the Claremont Institute, seeing these institutes.
All right, guys. Here's the part where I'm getting at the John Eastman part of what I was basically mentioning here. I'll fast forward into the video here. Check this out, guys.
House on the investigation of the money behind the January 6th rally. Take a listen, please.
I'm very limited as to what I can say.
I understand that.
We have a criminal investigation going forward.
Please tell me it has not been constrained only to people in the Capitol.
The investigation is being conducted by the prosecutors in the U.S. Attorney's Office and by the FBI field office. We have not constrained them in any way.
Great. And the old doctrine of follow the money, which is a well-established principle of prosecution, is
It's fair to
alive and well.
It's fair to say that all investigative techniques of which you're familiar, and some maybe that you're not familiar with because they postdate your time, are all being pursued in this manner.
You've expressed some skepticism that Merrick Garland and the Department of Justice have been aggressive enough or intend to be aggressive enough in getting to the bottom of this slow-rolling coup that clearly is not over. Do you have more or less confidence the more that you hear him give testimony?
Well, I'm confident that they're going after those who organized or participated in that attack on the Capitol. Where I am concerned is I don't see any action, and maybe they're just doing a really good job of keeping it confidential. But concerning the former president's efforts to overturn the election in Georgia and perhaps elsewhere, the fact that he's on tape trying to get the Secretary of State of Georgia to find 11,780 votes that don't exist.
They don't.
I think if you or I...
They don't exist.
We're trying to subvert an election that way, trying to defraud people that way, and trying to get someone
shut up.
conspiracy to do it, they would be under investigation if not indictment by now. So I am concerned about that.
Yeah. And another concern here, if you put together what the Claremont Institute is doing in pushing people, particularly white Republicans, to say that the election was invalidated by the votes in particularly brown and black communities. They feel that those votes were fraudulent. You add that to what the same organization, the Claremont Institute, is doing around this fake version of critical race theory to also gin up racial animus.
It is fake, lady. It's fake.
And then listen to this. Charlie Kirk,
Garbage.
an activist on the right, he had an event for his group, Turning Point USA, another pro-Trump organization.
Oh, guys, let me pause it right there. You guys got to hear this. I know these are some long sound clips here into the show, long videos I'm plugging in, but guys, this is garbage. Like, where is this from, Josh? Where is this garbage from? Oh, MSNBC's. Oh, the readout. Oh, yeah, expecting. It's expecting to be garbage. It is. Yeah. Representative Shifty Shift, just yesterday on MSNBC's The Readout, that the Republican Party had become a cult of former President Donald J. Trump. Shifty says. A cult? Okay. One of the greatest presidents in political history here in the United States did everything right for the American people. Something that Biden will never accomplish, okay? Nor will Barack Obama, and in my opinion, including George Bush, okay? Those four presidents, including the current one right now, will never accomplish in 1 month, 2 months, 4 years, 8 years, 40 years, 60 years, 170 years, 200 years, 500 years, 1,000 years. Now I'm getting a little over dramatic, but you get the point, right? They'll never accomplish what Trump has accomplished in a short 4-year presidential term. Guys, listen to this. This is garbage. This is the garbage that we have to see on national television. Check this out.
And I want you to listen to one person said at that event, and this was in Idaho.
This is tyranny. When do we get to use the guns? No, and I'm not, that's not a joke. I'm not saying it like that. I mean, literally, where's the line? How many elections are they going to steal
Stop. Hold on. Now I'm going to denounce that. I'm going to tell you why. Because you're playing into all their plans, and they're trying to make you do this.
People like Charlie Kirk have, clearly lost control of the mob that they've helped to create.
Josh, shut this off, please. This is garbage. I don't want to listen to it. Charlie Kirk, right? Charlie Kirk, right? Yeah. He's a well-known podcast host, a conservative podcast host, and I'm going to back Charlie Kirk on this, okay? So I hope, Charlie, that you're listening to my podcast, buddy. I'm going to back you, okay? I don't know you personally, never met you, okay? But you kind of resemble the same content that I resemble, okay? We didn't create a mob. We didn't create violent individuals. We didn't create any of that, guys. We created a conservative movement under the leadership of Donald J. Trump, okay? Donald Trump has created a movement in this country of the likes that we've never seen before. I don't think we've seen it even with Ronald Reagan. And Ronald Reagan created some good movements in the 80s. Damn good movements. This is fucking garbage. It really is. And I'm not going to apologize for that because my show is unfiltered. Okay? As well as unscripted. I don't have a teleprompter. I don't, yes, I have, producer Josh, which is also a good friend of mine here on the show, along with our digital arts and design here, Mika. They don't give me a script. They don't give me a telegram. They don't give me a teleprompter. They don't give me a written piece of paper to read off. I say what's on my mind. Yeah, Josh talking to me in my headpiece if you're listening to the audio podcast, which today is only the audio podcast. Next week, guys, we're going to go back to the video. Definitely getting some good feedback on the video podcast, but from last night. But, guys, this is garbage. This is complete garbage, what you are seeing. These are radical leftists of media platforms, outlets, if you want to call it that, literally saying, along with Shifty Shift, that Trump has created a cult. He's destroying America. If you can't trust the ballot box to resolve differences, what is left but violence is what led to the January 6th and may lead to further violence. This is what Schiff says. This is how he talks, guys. It's idiocy. Guys, I want to close it out here. I know, it's like, whoa, Mike, it's only 33 minutes going on to 34 minutes into the show. Guys, these briefs, they're very short. I like to keep them short and to the straight point. Guys, we need to end this crap. This is terrible. I mean, if you have politicians, government officials afraid of, your amendments and what what is owed to you. These are your rights, guys. It was given down to us by the four founding fathers. It was given down to us by the Almighty himself. Okay? These are our human rights. We live in a constitutional republic. And it needs to end, guys. It needs to end. And that's my closing.
You just heard an episode of the Patriot Angle Podcast, an Anchor platform.